What's up, everybody? It's Stan Grubb for Corner to Corner Wrestling Radio and the Beyond Ringside Radio Network. Hey, join us every Sunday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as the triple threat of wrestling radio goes live every week, giving you their thoughts and opinions on the world of professional wrestling. Myself, Brian, and Rob, all live, all here for you. And as my good friend Rob would say, from corner to corner and pillar to post, we bring it to you every week at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. BeyondRingside.com and ProWrestlingRadio.net. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Corner Wrestling Radio right here on the Beyond Ringside Radio Network, BeyondRingside.com and ProWrestlingRadio.net. The triple threat is here. We have arrived. I'm Stan Grubb, and my tag team partners, as always, Brian Taylor.
What's going on?
And Rob Hefner.
Good evening.
And we are joined by the master of the ones and twos, Fast Eddie Lane. What's going on, sir?
I really wish he wouldn't mention my IQ like that.
Wow. Sorry, buddy.
I thought those records were sealed.
I paid enough money, they should have been.
Folks, we are fresh from American Slang 2017, Nova Pro Wrestling. Friday night was a good night for fighting. And damn, what a great night it was for Nova Pro Wrestling. Where does one begin? If you caught us on Friday when we were on the way home, gave our hot takes, so to speak, of what happened. And 2 out of the 3 members of the triple threat consider themselves now to be part of the 1%.
I was going to ask you, Stan.
Only 1 3/4.
Have you stopped crying yet?
You know,
have you stopped sobbing into your pillow?
After much time for reflection and prayer and thought, I have finally come to the conclusion that perhaps one day that Logan Easton LaRue could perhaps forgive me for my temperament. I was angry when he stole my chair.
He did not
steal angrier.
Your chair.
I apologize. When he asked me for my chair, to which he politely escorted me from my chair so that he could utilize it in his matchup against Chet Sterling.
You should feel honored that the champion of the 1%ers talked to you in the first place.
Not just once, but twice. You're right. I don't know what I was thinking. Clearly, I was upset. I felt accosted, and maybe the gated community and Logan Easton LaRue can find it in their hearts to forgive me. I don't know. I mean, it's a tough industry. Forgiveness is hard to come by. I mean, it took Vince McMahon and the Ultimate Warrior almost 15 years to finally make peace. What do you think, guys? Do you think there's a chance for me?
Mm-mm.
Wow.
The difference between the Ultimate Warrior and Vince McMahon and you and Logan is Vince needed something from the Ultimate Warrior, and that was beneficial for both sides. For you and Logan, it only benefits one side. It benefits you because you then get to be in the presence of Logan Easton LaRue,
the champion of the 1%, and now the PWI Ultra J champion after successfully defeating Chet Sterling in a ladder match unlike any other. A true ladder match, as Rob, I think, would agree, where it actually had a solid finish. There wasn't
the Hefner rule. Yeah.
There was no Hefner rule. I was amazed. I was amazed and I was impressed. by both men. It was a hard-fought battle. Watching these two guys go at it, and realistically speaking, this, from what we've seen this year, definitely one of the highlights of the year so far. I don't know if it would beat Okada and Omega, but definitely one of the highlight matches of the year.
I agree. It was what a true ladder match should be, not the watered down version we get because we paid $9.99. And for me, sitting ringside for the first time ever, sitting ringside watching a ladder match, it was awesome. So, my hat's off to them.
So, what can you say about the production level for Nova Pro Wrestling? First time we saw them was at Great Expectations, where we were introduced to the 1%, or the champion 1%. We were introduced to It's Different, He's Different, Chet Sterling, Eric Royal, the Sandwich Squad. I mean, guys, what do you make of, now we've had 2 solid showings for Nova Pro Wrestling, their production values? How do you think the show delivered overall?
Rob?
Okay. We saw it in 2 different venues. I thought that the JCC was a great venue. I thought the Fire Hall had more parking, but the JCC was great. Had a very, very attentive security guard. The ease of getting in and out in the room where the stars were, I mean, it was a well done production. I mean, the mic was a little louder, so you could kind of hear it a little bit. The music was better. It cut on and not cut off. The storylines were fun. Were more in depth, and it was good.
Brian, how'd you feel about the production values of what we saw, what we witnessed?
I mean, it was fine for me. I mean, as far as production goes, there ain't no pyrotechnics or nothing like that. It's so I mean, it is what it is for. I'm assuming like a fledgling company, so there's no, not a lot of flash to it, but with them, the flash comes in the ring as opposed to, the pyro and the music and all that stuff.
So, with that, I mean, and that's a good point. It was what it was as far as music and introductions. Mic work was definitely better this time around than last. Of course, I don't really know if we have we've seen anything on a local level like that, with the exception of MCW, which I think we commented before that MCW's music was actually much louder than it needed to be. It was almost like a rock concert kind of scenario there. But this one, true to your statement, the stories are told in the ring. The wrestling action is solid. It doesn't have like a fly-by-night approach. There's a story to be told. Everybody is bought in with their character in their performance. Everybody knows what they're trying to accomplish with each step of the way. And the stories that are told are solid. I mean, Eric Royal taking on the 1% gauntlet. Gosh, I think I botched the name of that, but oh well. How does one describe what you see at a Nova Pro show? Well, you see all types. You see women's wrestling, which is super solid, with Angelus Lane taking on Brittany Blake. And you could say that Angelus Lane was quite fired up before the evening was done.
Yeah. And you would say that I think that wrestling anyway for Nova Pro, that it was solid wrestling, that like there wasn't a match with certain things that, every wrestler brought it. And it wasn't like you could tell that there were certain wrestlers that, all right, this is their third time. This is they're starting out. The opening match was with an exception, but everything else was great. And then the storyline, the backstory, and then Angela Lane's explosive personality.
Explosive, cosmic, you could say. Mike King may have something else to say about that.
Yeah. I mean, but the matches were quality matches, And I had a great time. It's not one where you're sitting there looking at your clock going, oh, God, how much longer, or, when they said the ladder match, I was actually going to myself, I was like, what? That's it? We're done? So
I really enjoyed just the overall appearance of the show itself. The tag team action that they had with the Ugly Ducklings against the Jim Nasty Boys, Timmy Lou Retton and White Mike. We've seen now, this is the second time we had seen the Ugly Ducklings, first time for Brian to get a chance at it. Brian, I'm curious to hear your opinion of the Ugly Ducklings.
They're definitely unique. From the look to the way they talk, to the way they move. It's fun watching them because they are definitely in a different style than you're kind of used to, especially watching TV. So it's just kind of everything about them is different, and they seem to embrace that, and you can feel it in their characters.
I really enjoyed the matchup that we saw, title for title was Tim Donst and David Starr. That matchup was great between those two guys. I would be curious to see what a follow-up matchup would look like with them, maybe even a submission matchup or something. But they were hard hitting from the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, it took you on that roller coaster of where you wanted to go, Did the whole ref thing, and it did the whole, finish thing, but again, a solid match for two guys that they hold titles in other places, so it was good. Both of them, what they say, they both had the longest introductions or something.
The longest introductions in wrestling, and David Starr. Yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I think we were headed the same direction. David Starr probably wins for T-shirt of the night, wouldn't you say?
Yes. I wish I had more money because I would have bought one.
And immediately when introduced to David Starr's bracelet, my youngest daughter decided it was now hers, and I have not seen it since.
Better get that back. That's rivalry.
Well, she's a fan of the product, I guess. How about that? She's a fan of the product. Bo Crockett taking on Innocent Isaiah. That was a great matchup.
That was a great match. It was, again, a storyline that had gone from show to show, that had gone from, and it played the times. Because, the Bo, they used to be a tag team called Cutie and the Beast, and then they broke up. So Bo went and joined the Carnies, and Isaiah is still hurt about it. He hurt him.
I think also one thing to point out is that Isaiah needs to realize that kicking somebody below the belt is still a no-no. He cheated to win. Wasn't good, sir. Can't do that kind of mess. And I have a feeling that the Carney himself, the Bo Show, will get his revenge. Oh,
the Bo Show has not reached the season-ending year yet. So,
what about what are your thoughts on how how Eric Royal looked in the gauntlet match and how he performed with not one, not two, but three different opponents. Alexander James, Bobby Shields, and a member of the 1% for the night, Ethan Cassidy.
Well, I think he held his own pretty good, but I mean, he's only lost one match, and he's been with Nova Pro, so he's got some crazy skills, and was able to hang in there long enough to weed them out.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that I didn't understand what the gauntlet match was. You know, like I didn't understand the prize, but it happened, and I think it was a quality match.
Well, it's interesting you mentioned that. Eric Royal winning the gauntlet match now gets his chance at the champion of the 1%. On Friday, August 18th, he will be challenging Logan Easton LaRue for the PWI Ultra J Championship. So having gone through the 1%.
No, recount. Need a recount.
Recount? He beat three guys.
Actually, he only beat one guy. The guy that the 1%ers hired is the guy that he was whipping. The other two then got thrown off their game because that guy decided to turn on them and walk away.
So you're saying that he doesn't deserve a chance at the title?
I'm not saying he doesn't deserve a chance. I'm just saying that the finalities need to be redone.
Are you also saying that you're going to be the person to tell him he doesn't get a title shot? That's a big mean dude, man. I'm not telling him he doesn't get a title shot.
No. I think that's if you want to earn your way into the heart of Logan like you want to, then maybe you should do it.
You know, I'm partial to allowing the officials for Nova Pro Wrestling to do their jobs. And, you know, who am I to tell them how to do their jobs? Clearly, I know Mike King's got a lot on his plate. You know, he's probably got some reconstructive surgery going on after getting blasted with a cosmic fireball, which, according to you guys, just happens. It doesn't actually come from anyone else. Eddie, is that even right? A cosmic fireball just happens? It's not something that someone actually throws?
I've known them to come out of nowhere.
Exactly.
Damn it.
Stan trying to do this whole conspiracy theory, and it just bit him in the butt.
But I've also seen people throw them.
Aha! So they can be thrown. Ha-ha!
They can be launched.
Launched? I would say that the cosmic fireball that took out Mike King was definitely launched. Thank God it wasn't a Roman candle. That would have sucked.
But from who is the question? They should launch an investigation.
I don't know that they need to launch an investigation. I mean, I think we all saw the same things. I mean, we can all now admit.
I don't know. Brian and Rob have been known to watch another monitor from you, Stan.
Wow. So you're saying that I could have gotten this wrong?
I think you're trying to blame an innocent person of Angeles Lane for what could have been just a freak accident.
Hey, everybody knows.
Go to your tweet? Should we go to your Twitter?
Why would you go to my Twitter?
Because there's a statement on your Twitter that, oh yes, I must concur, Rob and Brian, that there could be another angle to this. Should I keep going?
I never said that.
Yes, you did.
Hashtag fake news.
Oh, it's not fake. It was written by your own big old clod-hopping fingers.
Wow, clod-hopping fingers? Damn. Let me go to my tweet. Somebody's been hacking my Twitter account. That couldn't have possibly come from me. Let's see here. Nope, it didn't come from me. You're lying, sir. You must be using Fox News.
I believe that's CNN.
That's CNN.
My bad. Whatever. I don't really watch any of those news networks.
Also, MSLSD.
Ooh, what? LSD.
CNN and MSLSD.
Hike.
Hoot, hoot, hoot.
Omaha, Omaha.
So, I mean, there's tweets on my Twitter feed where people are calling Angela Lane a witch for, I would say, well, I guess you could say they're saying she cast a cosmic fireball upon Mike King. Would you concur that she's a witch? Is that even possible? Witches
No.
don't wrestle. Witches don't wrestle. There's
Let's
no
see here.
witches in wrestling.
Oh, here it is. Posted one day ago from Stan Grubb, Stan from Krypton. From this angle, Brian and Rob may be correct that the cameraman did it and not Angela Lane.
Oh, I know the
Time
picture you're
stamp
talking about.
on the
My bad.
15th at 9:18 a.m. So,
Damn it! Damn it!
in the
Damn
great
it!
words,
That ain't cool, man. Using my
Oh,
own.
no.
How come I can't find my own damn tweet? What the hell? There's a conspiracy going on right now. If I can't find my own damn tweets,
it's not a
There it is.
conspiracy, sir.
Okay. I see the picture that I was talking about, and you know what, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to apologize, but there is a clear photo of the horrendous act that was Mike King taking a fireball to the face, and damn, you know what? Maybe she did cast it because her hands are by her side and she's just staring at him. Either that or the cameraman did it. The cameraman, who, by the way, got knocked over by Angela Lane when she was heading for the hills.
It wasn't
Mike
Angela
King
Lane
hit
that
the
knocked
deck.
her over. Angela didn't knock him over. It was the entire locker room coming out chasing her into the parking lot that knocked him over.
When he hit the deck, I've never seen somebody turn and run so quick before, ever. And I mean, she's hurdling chairs, she's throwing people out of the way. The locker room is chasing her down. But, you know, there's also another part of this photo that's interesting. One half of the Sandwich Squad with his hands to his side as he watches the fireball hit. Dumbfounded, like, holy hell, look at that. Grab me my sandwich first.
Are you making fun of the Sandwich Squad?
I'm just saying that maybe he was in a food coma when the fireball hit. They were successful in their attempt, in their matchup.
Oh, poor Stan. He's going to die soon.
Well, they almost crushed us when he got thrown out the ring twice. 3 times, actually. And hey, you know what? They wouldn't hurt me because they realized that I did save his life. I saved one half of the Sandwich Squad from a trip hazard. I took the streamers from his boot. That's correct. It's a true story.
But the way you're talking, I'm wondering if you actually put them on his boot.
No, I did not bring any streamers with me. And unfortunately, my souvenir streamer from saving his life did not survive the trip. Apparently, it got some Red Bull spilled on it, and it's now in the bottom of a trash can somewhere. Boom, 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 boom. Let's see. Matt Cross took on Sanjay Dutt in a
Awesome
great
match.
matchup. Yeah, we've seen Sanjay Dutt quite a few times live. Each match has been awesome, but Matt Cross, man, was he fun to watch or what?
It's an amazing match. I liked it. It was fun seeing him wrestle without the mask.
You know, it would have been cool to see Son of Havoc make his Nova Pro debut. But Matt Cross is good all the same either way.
But it was interesting when, after the match, Sanjay stopped it all and said how they're actually good friends and that they have fought each other all over the world, and happy to see him back, and he's willing to forgive him for leaving a wrestling federation 20 years ago to make more money.
As I stated, forgiveness is hard to come by in this industry. If they can forgive each other, then Logan LaRue can forgive me, damn it.
Difference is, Sanjay liked Matt Cross.
I'm one of those likable personalities. I mean, he could learn to like me.
Okay.
You don't think so?
Okay. Whatever you say. Sorry.
Damn. That's hardcore.
Just keep believing.
Don't stop believing.
Oh, but God, please stop singing.
Don't do that. Don't. Just don't. Don't do that.
That ain't right.
No, it's right.
There's
Just
a reason.
don't sing.
There's a reason why I sang the "I'm Just a Fan" gimmick from a few weeks back.
Guys, you're messed up, man. Hurting my feelings. I happen to think I sing. I have a voice like an angel.
A dead one.
Lucifer.
Wow. Wow, dude. I mean, damn, you just took it there. So apparently, I have the voice of Satan.
No,
But
Lucifer
I just
was
got
an angel. A fallen angel, unlike Christopher Daniels, who still has talent.
Wow. Wow. So now, oh, damn. So now I don't have talent. This just keeps getting better.
You know, talent hack.
No, that's what they call me.
Oh, wow. So let's lay out what happened Friday night, shall we? As we're discussing the events of the main event. As I stated at the beginning, there was a tremendous ladder match between Logan Easton LaRue, Chet Sterling for the PWI J Championship, Ultra J Championship.
Stan,
Yes?
I just got a tweet from Logan LaRue. He says, from now on, you must call him the champion before you talk about him.
Really? The champion?
Yes.
So I have to call him the champion.
He is the champion. Yes.
I gotta say, it's kind of pushing my buttons, kind of grinding my gears here. Trying to be nice. Don't make me change, man. Don't do it.
Don't go changing.
In the interest of protecting my friends, the champion, Logan Easton LaRue, also known as the champion of the 1%, was thrown out of the ring. In the ruckus, in the fray, just hand on me, puts his hand on a fan, moves me out of the way, takes the chair, and hits Chet Sterling with it. Once he's finished, drops it to the outside, to which I took my chair back, might I add. Put that chair right back in its place and sat down to enjoy the rest of the matchup. And then, as action continues, tremendous action, might I add, Mr. LaRue, the champion Mr. LaRue, rolls out to the outside again. And this time, give me your chair. That's what he says to me. Give me your chair. And I said, no. I'm not going to do it. I said, no. You can't have it. That didn't matter, though. Because two people down from me, he says, give me your chair. Okay, here you go. Guy hands him the chair. I say to the guy, what are you doing? What are you giving him the chair for? He says, well, he's 1%, man. What can I do? I mean, guys, don't you think that's kind of bullying?
It's not bullying when he freely gave it up. He didn't force the man to give it up.
I'll tell you that. He did just hand it to him, said, okay, here you go, Mr. LaRue.
And see,
And actually, I believe that's exactly how he said it. He said, here you go, Mr. LaRue.
Let's talk about the glowing fact that you're forgetting. Is that you, this whole time, you're saying it's your chair, correct?
At that time, yes.
It was your chair, correct?
At that moment, yes.
So, what you're telling me is you hit Chet Sterling with a chair.
No, I did not. I would never. First off, that would mean I stepped over the rail, which I did not. There was a very clear railing there that I would never step over. A nice yellow strip of tape that says caution. I would never do that, sir. Too much respect. And I did not hit Chet Sterling. That chair was. I'm trying hard, man. I'm trying. I want in the era of forgiveness. I'm trying to be cool about this.
But you said that he asked you to get up, you got up, and then he said he took your chair. But then,
but did he really ask me, Rob? Did he really ask me?
At no
you
time.
were sitting on the other side of Brian, so maybe you didn't see it. Brian, I know you saw it. You tell him what you saw.
At no time did he touch you.
He asked you to get up politely.
And you got up.
You're kidding, right?
You were no different than the next guy that you're making fun of.
I can't do it, man. I can't lie. I cannot lie.
The champion, Mr. LaRue, said, get up, and you got up. And you walked away.
No.
And then, no, you didn't walk away. You stood right there as he had your chair. But he's saying it's your chair, and you quickly took it back from him. So therefore, since you quickly took it back from him and it was your chair, you in essence hit Chet Sterling with a chair, not Logan Easton LaRue.
Wait a minute. That would no, sir. I most certainly did not hit Chet Sterling with a chair. As I stated, there was a very clear boundary line between us and the wrestling action. I would never disrespect and step over the line like that, much less give my chair to someone to hit another person. That's just horrible. That's violence that doesn't need to be happening. I would never do such a thing. But I tell you what I will do is when Chet Sterling gets his rematch, and I'm positive he will, I will be there. And I promise you, given the opportunity, and I want to be very clear about this, given the opportunity, I will make sure that Chet Sterling gets my chair. You heard it here first. I will give Chet Sterling my chair.
We heard it here where? First?
First. I said first. You just didn't hear it right. Hashtag fake news. I was accosted by Logan LaRue, thrown from my seat.
You were not thrown from your seat.
My shoulder. My neck and my shoulder still hurt.
Has nothing to do with the wrestling show. That was later on.
My neck and my shoulder still hurt from the wrestling show, sir. Nothing happened later on, except you two drumming me over the airwaves. Because you two have been blinded and poisoned by the 1%. The gated community.
It's not poisoned. It is not poisoned when it is the calling.
The calling. So I did see on Twitter that apparently another fan was not quite as lucky as you guys. Fortunate. He was celebrating with his photo, tweeting it out there, saying he was officially at 1%. Where. And I don't remember the gentleman's name because I will say this, at the end of the night, there was a lot of people celebrating with the 1%, with the gated community. But this young man was not allowed, apparently. Their response to him was, man, we need to get better security. This kid clearly thinks that he's part of us. And that's not the case. Because they told him that he could enjoy his picture, but he was never getting in. And then they showed a picture of the gate saying they're going to keep the gate closed from now on. Kid couldn't have been any more than 15. On a side note, I will say that the gated community is probably the most entertaining thing from a fan I've seen at any indie show ever. And kudos to those gentlemen for putting some real hard work in and making that entertaining all the more for Mr. Logan Easton LaRue, the PWI Ultra J champion. See, I may not like the guy. I may not have a whole lot of warm, fuzzy feelings about Mr. LaRue, but I have to say,
you forgot something.
I didn't forget anything.
You forgot to address him as the champion.
I think you'd agree that there's maybe a little controversy as to how that championship was won.
Well, after you hit Chet Sterling with the chair,
I would never strike. the king of the different, Mr. Chet Sterling. I have nothing but the utmost respect for Mr. Sterling.
Yeah, sure you do, because you hit him with a chair.
I did not. Brian, where are you on this?
I was getting popcorn.
What? There were no concessions there.
No, they had pizza. I was getting pizza. And drinking tap water.
I'll say this. The JCC was a great arena, very good crowd for the event Friday night, but apparently their concessions was nowhere to be found. So they bought pizza for all of the fans in attendance. Would they charge only like $1 for 2 slices?
$1 a slice.
Something like that, yeah. So they did $1 a slice. They had plenty of pizzas there for everybody, which, judging from the crowd, all kidding aside, I think we had, 200 people there, maybe 3?
Probably around 200.
That was a good-sized crowd. Not a person that was in their seats throughout most of that ladder match. Most people were on their feet watching. Unless, of course, you count me, who had no chair for a while. Had to stand around like a damned fool while everybody else was sitting.
It's because you were swinging it over your head.
Eddie, do you know me very well, sir? Would you say that you know me pretty well?
Well, you do have a problem with center of attention syndrome.
Edward.
Dun, 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 dun.
Wow.
In the great words of Brian.
Syndrome?
Yeah, you got it from Corey.
Oh
my God.
Hey,
That
Brian,
did
say
not
it.
just happen.
No, you got it from Corey Graves at
Turn
WWE.
out the-
Guys, he got it from Corey Graves. I don't know who the hell y'all thought I was talking about.
That's funny.
I'm hurt. First off, I don't have to be the center of attention. It just happens that way. Secondly,
It's because you whine until you get it. Oh, sorry.
wow,
Is my mic on? Sorry.
that can be arranged, sir. Damn it.
Yeah, I mean, you're hitting people with chairs. What else would you... what's going to stop you from doing something else?
I mean, what's next? Jumping over the rail and using chloroform or a blackjack billy club? I mean, you going to use a tire iron next time, Stan?
I don't have a tire iron. You have to have a car to have a tire iron, and I do not own a vehicle at this time.
I have 4 tire irons, and I don't have them in any car that I own.
Well, you're kind of a dangerous man. I would imagine you have weaponry whenever you need it.
You're damn right I do, and don't anybody ever forget that.
You guys.
At any point in time, I carry anything from a collapsible club all the way through a Glock 9.
I thought I could count on you guys as my friends.
We're
support me
your
in this
friends
time
all
of
day
need.
long, but we're not going to protect you when you try to cheat.
But I didn't cheat.
Yeah,
I wasn't even in the match. I'm not even
Yeah.
a trained performer.
That's what they all say.
That didn't stop you from hitting him with a chair.
That's what Hulk Hogan used to say all the time, dude.
And look, he made a 40-year career out of it.
Think I can make a 40-year career about just being a fan?
Sure.
If you'd stop hitting people with chairs.
In billy clubs.
What? How the Billy Club get in? I don't even own a Billy Club.
You know, I did see him chanting, too, before the Cosmic Fireball.
What?
I'm just saying.
Well, now I'm...
Fireball!
Is that how we summon a fireball?
You tell us, Dan.
I mean, I guess I'll have to ask Angelus Lane. She's the neighborhood witch.
Mm-mm-mm.
I mean,
How dare you, sir?
so you're leaving me alone, all by myself on this little island here. The one who was accosted and assaulted. I held off. I didn't call Fairfax County. I thought better of it. Maybe I would try to make peace, make amends. But you guys aren't helping, man.
Well, you're just a big sissy. Stop being a ninny.
Maybe I should call him. I think Fairfax County would love to hear what happened. They'd say to me, Mr. Grubb, because that's what most people call me, is Mr. Grubb, out of respect. What happened, sir? And I would tell them exactly what happened.
And they would laugh.
I don't think they'd laugh. I don't think they find criminal acts of violence to be funny, sir.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Rob, Brian, I don't know if you'll be able to hear this or not, but I did just get an anonymous email sent to me on how Stan was able to help summon a fireball.
Wait, what?
And it's very
I am
it's
not
it's
able to summon any
told-
fireballs.
it's very faint, so you might not. I'm trying to enhance the audio as we speak, but you might not be able to hear it. Here it is.
What the hell?
Now
Yep, I agree.
Of all else, now we know Stan thinks he's Pitbull.
Give me the green light, because I'm ready to go.
Because if he would have called Fairfax County, what Fairfax County would have done is they'd have run in there, they'd have grabbed Logan Easton LaRue, the champion, and say, "Sir, how did this man hurt you?" And when he says, "Well, I asked him to sit down because I was winded in the match and needed to take a timeout," he did not get up out of his chair. He didn't assist the champion of the one percenters. And then when I said, "Hey, get out of your chair," he got up, he grabbed his chair, and he hit Chet Sterling.
That is not how that happened. I don't even know how to continue. I'm upset. I'm hurting. My shoulder, my neck hurts. I mean, and I you guys are supposed to be my brothers, man.
Your shoulder and neck hurt from holding on to Brian's shoulders the whole time, and him carrying you through.
Wow, man. I mean, this is hurtful. This is hurtful.
Guys, I really hate to do this, but I've got to come clean about it. Look, Stan's so damn vanilla. He wouldn't know how to break the rules if you actually gave him a how-to guide and a roadmap.
But anyway, Stan, this is not about you. This is about our experience at Nova Pro Wrestling.
Which, of course, Stan was trying to make it all about him the whole time. That I will say. I mean,
It was called American Slang. For everybody listening, the event was called American Slang at the JCC in Fairfax. It was not called the Stan Show.
No, it was definitely not the Stan Show. You're correct on that. And I'm certainly not trying to make it about me. I do apologize for that. I would never want to do that. So if that's how it came off, I apologize. That's definitely not what I wanted to do.
Well, I say you just tie the ribbon on the bow about American Slang, and let's get on to some other news.
You know what? I think
if not, Stan, you could be working your way right off the show. I'm just
wow. You're gonna kick me off?
No, you're not. If you're not a 1%er or even 1 3/4 like me and Rob, then you just don't deserve to be on here.
Damn. I mean, just damn. Well, I suppose you could say that American Slang was a big deal. A lot of exciting action came out of it. We had a hell of a time. We won't be there, unfortunately, for the August 18th event. I apologize for that. We do have another event already that has got us booked. But we will be there as soon as we possibly can, so we are looking forward to the next event. Nova Pro continues to impress. We had a hell of a time. Thank you so much to Mike King and every single one of the talents on that roster, even the champion of the 1%, now the PWI Ultra J champion, Logan Easton LaRue. Had a hell of a time, and we definitely will look forward to being back there very soon. Folks, I definitely apologize. I do need us to go ahead and take our first break of the evening. When we come back, we've got lots to talk about. We've got conversation about women's wrestling champion who will be stepping away soon. Also, some news that's come from not just WWE, but also Global Force Wrestling and all points in between. Stick with us, folks, right here on BeyondRingside.com, ProWrestlingRadio.net. We'll be right back. What's up, everybody? It's Stan Grubb for Corner to Corner Wrestling Radio and the Beyond Ringside Radio Network. Hey, join us every Sunday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as the triple threat of wrestling radio goes live every week, giving you their thoughts and opinions on the world of professional wrestling. Myself, Brian, and Rob, all live, all here for you. And as my good friend Rob would say, from corner to corner and pillar to post, we bring it to you every week at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. BeyondRingside.com and ProWrestlingRadio.net.
Sunday nights at 11 p.m. Eastern here on BeyondRingside.com. Join us for the Midnight Black Mass. Myself, the Reverend Dan Wilson, brings you the dark gospel of professional wrestling, uncensored, unedited, uncut, and not for the faint of heart. You can find out more about us at youtube.com/pottyhumor or subscribe at Potty Humor on iTunes and Stitcher today.
The To Be Determined Show live Wednesday nights, 9 Central Standard Time. Join myself, the Oracle of Ominous, the Wicked Nemesis, the Grand Design, Clyde Braddock, and the Magic City Monroe, Fast Eddie Lane, as we take you to the edge of uncensored. Yes, we go uncensored, so make sure you have your earmuffs. Ask your parents, for those of you that are a little young, maybe under 18, but make sure if you have any heart conditions or any mental defects, please listen, because they may take effect right here, live, every Wednesday night, 9 Central Standard Time. Beyond Ringside Radio Network, BeyondRingside.com.
Howdy, friends. This is the Magic City Motormouth, Fast Eddie Lane, with your invitation to join yours truly, along with Mark Mabo Bowman and the Oracle of Ominous, the Wicked Nemesis, every Sunday night, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 3:30 p.m. Pacific, for Beyond Ringside Live. Wrestling, mixed martial arts, sports talk, and a whole lot more. Keep your eyes open on BeyondRingside.com for all of upcoming show information, and of course, catch us on social media as well. Until then, we'll see you this Sunday, 6:30 Eastern, for Beyond Ringside Live on the Beyond Ringside Radio Network.
Welcome back, everybody, to Corner Wrestling Radio. We're back right here on BeyondRingside.com and ProWrestlingRadio.net. Hope you guys had an excellent week. We definitely have. Lots of news to talk about. Something that actually slipped through the radar last week. Thought we'd go ahead and cover this now. Report came out from Forbes magazine. Massive WWE leak exposes 3 million fans' addresses, ethnicities, and more to the open public. This was information provided by Bob Dianchenko, from a security firm called Cromtech, told Forbes he had uncovered a huge unprotected WWE database containing information on more than 3 million users. Noted it was open to anyone who knew the web address to search. So essentially, this is an Amazon web server that had 3 million plus information. So we're looking at possible information for addresses, whether or not you are black, white, Hispanic, ethnicities that are listed there. They did advise that credit cards and password information was not included. So they're stating that it is not a risk. However, I got to say that it's a little unsettling that 3 million people were exposed to a potential risk of having their information out there. Even though the credit card wasn't out there, it's enough to have your address leaked out there for just about anybody to see.
True, but again, when it comes to addresses and stuff, it's all Googleable. But it's still, you think a company the size of WWE and the servers that they have would have better protection on such things. And right. That they haven't come out and said, like, I've bought many a thing from them, and I have yet to get an email or anything saying, hey, by the way, you might want to check your credit for the next couple weeks because you might be hacked. So, a little perturbed at that. But it's okay. I'll get over it one day.
And somehow it slips under the radar. I don't see any other major news outlet except for Forbes reporting this. Not a single dirt sheet to be found, by the way, that had this listed in their information.
Oh, it's because everybody else is doing something and they don't want to talk about it.
Brian, how do you feel about the potential leak of information?
In this day and age, It happens all the time. Your information, if you sign up for something that's normally bought and sold by several major corporations, today is just a fact of life.
Well, I'll say this: it's a scary fact of life. But you're right; it's information like this gets out all the time. I think what's even more alarming is like Rob said, the lack of mention from WWE to at least advise that this was something that took place.
But then again, it's like, was it WWE server or was it a third-party server?
Well, a lot of companies nowadays will utilize a third-party server. Amazon is actually one of the more popular ones. But amongst the categories that information was leaked also includes options for children's age ranges. So if there's children living in the household. So if you volunteered that information, say you're filling in your network profile, then that information also was made available. Now, granted, it doesn't list names, so you're not like putting all the names of your kids, but it's still a concern. To me, from just one man's perspective, I'm concerned about it. Granted, not my credit information and not my checking information or any of that stuff was leaked, so I don't really worry about that part. But the fact that it's got information as to who has how many kids and where they live, that is a bit of a concern.
Well, I guess what somebody needs to do is, one time there's one of these massive leaks and somebody's credit gets stolen, is sue the company that allowed the leaks, and maybe they'll take care of it.
And you're most likely correct. That's going to be how you get the door shut on things like that. So let's talk a little bit about some other news that has come through. How about the most recent announcement? This came from the July 13th edition of GFW's Impact. Gail Kim advising that she is retiring from the ring at the end of this year.
She is
Well, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Nope. You go ahead. Go ahead, Rob. Hello.
Hello.
Come on, Rob. You can do it, buddy.
No, I mean, it's some a female competitor that has stood the test of time and is going out on top.
I mean, she's a 6-time Knockouts champion. She is a, 2-time, maybe 3-time Women's and Divas champion for WWE. Very decorated in a pretty short career, all things considered. She debuted in 2004 for WWE. Won the title the first night out. Not bad. Not bad at all. She's also, of course, known as marrying Robert Irvine. It is Robert Irvine, right? From Dinner Impossible, I believe is what they call the show, amongst many other shows that he has on the Food Network.
Right. So
who also, I was just going to say, he's also a big jacked up dude who doesn't seem like you'd want to cross paths with him on any dark alley.
Yeah, he's a pretty big guy. I guess he's a really good cook, too, so to have his own show.
We've never eaten at one of his restaurants, but in my understanding is he owns quite a few, so he's got a lot to offer in the finance department. But congratulations to Gail Kim for a hell of a career. She's got about 5 months left, 4.5 roughly, until the end of 2017. I'm curious if she'll get another run at the title before it's all said and done.
Just think about it, being that close to retirement. Be nice.
Yeah, I think she'll get another run, but I don't think she'd walk away with it.
And how old is she anyway? She's maybe in her 30s?
I don't know. You've seen her husband? I'm not asking her.
No, I'm not going to ask. You're right. Fair point.
There's plenty of restaurants I've eaten at that my catchphrase is, They've got good food, but I just wait for Robert Irvine to come in with a sledgehammer and be like, "This restaurant's closed."
Your food sucks. Oh wait, no, that's Gordon Ramsay. My bad. So let's go from Gail Kim news in Global Force to a little bit of scuttlebutt coming from a recent interview from Shane Helms on a recent interview with Ryan Satine's podcast. Mr. Helms advised that I think the technical term is bovine defecation. The street term is BS. Of course, financial played a part into his release, but the reason there were too many agents or producers is because he had brought in his buddies who weren't qualified to be there. This is Shane Helms talking about Jeff Jarrett and company, talking about how many people that the Jarretts brought in and probably some leftovers from Dixie Carter as well. So if you hadn't brought in unqualified people to put into those positions, the situation would never have arisen. I caught some residual heat when the contractual situation with Anthem and the Hardys broke down. I got text messages asking me what I did know. Just a lot of weird, angry texts and very unprofessional, inappropriate texts to me, to the point where there had to be a phone call made, and then I had to get loud. I'm not putting up with this. And having to tell Jeff, you're not going to talk to me in person like you're talking to me on this phone. At least you better not. So it sounds to me like Jeff Jarrett was trying to make waves and maybe strong arm a little bit to get what he wanted, and it just didn't work out to his desire. This is more indication from yet another credible source that Global Force Wrestling and those at the helm just don't know exactly what they're doing, and maybe they shouldn't be running a company, much less being absorbing Impact Wrestling. Never thought I'd see the day where I'd say that Impact Wrestling deserves better.
Well, to counterpoint that, you should probably look at the ratings.
This is a good point. Best ratings they've had all year?
Sure, not just all year. I think this might have been like their highest ratings in a long time.
It goes with the age-old theory that sales cover sins to an extent. Maybe the fact that they're successful, maybe they're able to kind of sweep some of this under the rug. What do you think?
Not their champion being suspended indefinitely.
Well, that was our next part of that. It's a great segue, Eddie. How does Alberto Del Rio, or Alberto Del Patron at this point, and his suspension impact, pardon the pun, Global Force Wrestling from here forward?
It all depends on what they're going to do with the title, I guess. So, if they're gonna play by WWE rules, then he can be out for 6 months and never have to defend it, and never lose it. But if they're smart, they'll get a tournament or something up and running real quick.
Well, they've got tapings through April.
August.
April 10th.
August 10th.
August. Thank you, sir. August 10th. My bad. August 10th. So you've got a little bit of time to get something prepared. You definitely have other people in your roster that can fill the gap and take over in a big, big way, and maybe not even have anything felt in a negative fashion from him being gone. We, of course, here at Corner to Corner, and I'm certain it's family of shows, don't condone Mr. Patron's alleged behavior, and unless something gets proven otherwise, it's probably for the better that he's now gone from Global Force Wrestling.
Suspended indefinitely, not gone.
Yeah, but I think we all know that's generally code for not coming back anytime soon. That's to say the least.
Now, remember, in the American legal system, you are innocent until proven guilty, even if TMZ has the footage.
That's another thing. How does Paige end up in this situation where she puts tweets out there apparently explaining that it was all the fan that attempted to come to her rescue, this fan's fault, instead of Alberto, who was being the assaulter instead of the assaultee?
She ain't working right now. He's making money. Protect the money.
I have a hard time really thinking that's her MO. I guess it's possible, especially if she is involved in any kind of drug or alcohol abuse. But there again, that's speculation. We don't truly know for sure if that's really what's going on with her. But We know that she has been working to recover from neck surgery, and apparently she is cleared to perform as of about a month and a half ago, but that doesn't necessarily mean she'll be working anytime soon, as WWE has not shown any real interest in bringing her back. Most likely because of her alliance with Mr. Del Rio.
Well, if you bring her back, then who's going to be wandering backstage?
Right, exactly. And that opens the door up to a lot of speculation that they don't need. I mean, with Hogan, they had known about his tape for years, and it was only after it got leaked by TMZ that he was finally released and quote-unquote excommunicated, removed from the Hall of Fame and all of that.
He was excommunicated because of the tape where he said words he should not have said.
Agreed. But had that not come out, would he have been removed?
No.
Exactly. I mean, it's unfortunate because he did say it. It doesn't change the fact that the guy did say the words that shouldn't be said. But at the same time, if it never came out by TMZ, if they never broke the story, Hogan would still be in a Hall of Fame, and he would still be a goodwill ambassador, I believe is what they termed it as, for them and for the foreseeable future. So it's a tough situation. It's yet another indication that your personal life can spread into your professional very, very quickly, and if you're not careful, it can come back to haunt you for years to come. And Hogan's been out of WWE since, this broke in 2015. He's been gone ever since. Del Rio, I mean, if let's say Del Rio gets convicted, then if that happens, then we could very well see him maybe not wrestle stateside again.
Oh, somebody will put him on there.
Somebody will take the risk just because of the name. Same thing with the NFL. I mean, you got the one player, he played where? And then Carolina hired him, and and then Dallas took him, wasn't he?
Oh, Greg Hardy,
and he was an outwardly known domestic abuser. But
right, and he ended up getting arrested again in the process. That's right.
So, I mean, sometimes companies are going to take you think about if you own a company and you need the ratings, who are you going to get? Get him, because then people are going to tune in to say, ooh, I hate him, but they're still watching.
Right. And that's just it. I mean, with Impact, just this past week, they saw 357,000 in the ratings, which is the highest they've had. Brian, what was the actual statistic? Is it the highest they've had in 2016 or ever on since they made the
I think it was ever, but I didn't read the article other than the headline. I know It was like one of their highest ever. Because I don't even know if they were drawing that back in the day when they were halfway decent.
I can recall them doing pretty well when the Monday Night Wars first started, when they tried to rekindle the Monday Night War. They had decent ratings for about 2 weeks, and then it all fell back apart to where they were at 300,000, and I believe the lowest they saw was about 280 at one point. But there again, is Jarrett really the guy to bring another truly competitive company to the table with this news now coming from Shane Helms and how they were handling the Hardys?
Hey, guys. If I may,
yes,
according to Lords of Pain, they printed a report saying that the July 13th episode of Impact, 374,000 viewers, up from 345 the week before, up from 268 the week before.
Wow.
And if the numbers are accurate, that is the highest number that they've had this year so far.
I mean, it's a great step forward and a step in the right direction for them. Hopefully they're able to capitalize. It's tough because you want to see, we as fans want to see a viable product come out and be successful, because it means that everything gets better. Typically speaking, like if they show and they make waves the way they have just in the short time that they did with the United States Championship Tournament, we saw a U.S. title shot go on a house show where AJ Styles becomes U.S. champion. Not saying that everything in WWE is going to turn around overnight, but I mean, that's an indication that they felt the heat and they felt the pressure. Yeah, I mean, there's rumor that Kevin Owens had been hurt and may not be able to perform. But there again, this past Tuesday night on SmackDown Live, he performs in a tag team match, so he's able to compete at some level. So I wonder if perhaps they felt the heat of this and decided they needed to make a move. Wouldn't be the first time they.
Well, yeah, I think they're just setting up for AJ and Nakamura.
Then I think maybe that they took the title off of him, and then he got a second opinion, or maybe he is hurt and he just had to finish, Tuesday night, and we'll see if he keeps showing up.
But I'm sure you probably read that on somebody else's.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, think about it. Impact, TNA, Global Force, whatever they're going to go by today. It's the title that has the sticky notes on it because nobody knows what to call it. It's just like anything else. You're going to tune in to see what changes, and then after a few weeks, after if it stays the same, the viewing's going to start dropping off again. It's the same thing after WrestleMania, WWE. Everybody turns in to see what's going to change, and then when they realize nothing after a couple weeks, what happens? Same thing.
Well, it looks like we've lost Stan for a little bit, but
I'm like, hello.
Oh, sorry, I wasn't watching the screen. I was working on audio.
That's right.
Ah, there he is.
Sorry
Is
about
he?
that.
There he goes.
Did we get you back?
My bad, y'all. My bad.
Well, I think TNA's probably pointed in a better direction than when they were where they were. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with the ratings from here.
Because you think, when Jarrett had the reigns before, they were on their way up. And when they started going down and started plateauing is when they brought in Hogan and Flair and all those people, and it just didn't work.
Yeah, I mean, Bischoff thought he had the golden ticket, so to speak, thinking he had a big plan, and it just didn't pan out for him, and it didn't turn into anything. And then, of course, Hogan brings in the Nasty Boys and Hacksaw Jim Duggan and the
Orlando Jordan.
his ilk. I think with Orlando Jordan, they saw a possible big draw, but only because of the fact that they felt he had potential. I don't know that would have changed if, say, Jeff Jarrett brought Orlando Jordan in. I think he still would have had the opportunity. I just don't think they would have given him the kind of crazy-ass storyline that they had for him.
Okay. If I may, gentlemen. When Orlando Jordan was brought in, he had already been in the middle of a controversy, so to speak, because of things that he had said as well as done, and the way that there was a stigma around him for the lifestyle. Now, about the latter, I don't give a rat's ass. But the first two, I do. If you're in the public eye, you have to watch what you say. You can't always just go shooting off of the mouth. Not everybody's John Cena. Nobody's bigger than this business. Hulk Hogan is proof of that. Blacklisted and exiled. If they had brought in Orlando Jordan and not tried to capitalize on the flamboyance that he had put out there, he would have been more warmly received. We're talking about an industry that reveres what Rico Constantino did as part of the Billy and Chuck storyline. Most people were okay with that. Even the hardcore right was okay with that because of the way it was carried. The exotic Adrian Street, in my book, a first ballot legend and Hall of Famer. Vince, get a clue on this one. Vince basically used Adrian Street for Gold Dust and for Rico, which Adrian was a part of Rico's character development.
Right.
So it's not the individual's gimmick. It's not the fact that someone may be straight, bi, gay, warped, bent, twisted, folded, spindled, mutilated, whatever. It's not about the collective. It's about the individual. And Orlando Jordan did him no favors in the eyes of the mainstream wrestling community before the debut at Impact. And what they gave him as far as a character and a gimmick went, sucked. Orlando Jordan has talent in the ring and on the microphone. I just wish that they would have let him be a star. That's the only way I can say it, guys.
I mean, they're yeah, and I can see why you'd say it that way. It's just, from my perspective, he had an opportunity there, and there again, you do make a good point with what he was bringing to the table. I mean, it was an intriguing storyline that they could have done, and they could have done it in a number of ways. I think Bischoff just bit off more than he could chew with it. If he was truly in control at that point, because the rumor is that Bischoff was behind creative at that time, but we don't really know that, except for what he's said that he was, but we don't really know for sure. I think he gave opportunity to where he thought it would go, and then once Hogan started bringing in his buddies, it went south, and it went south fast.
Yep.
But I guess there again, I mean, with Jarrett, to Brian's point, ratings were on the uptick when he was there and before he left. We were thinking that Impact was going to make some major moves, and then of course they think that he's got some kind of a golden, silver bullet method that's going to make them into big stars, and it turns out it wasn't anything like it. It's all indicative of the cycle of how wrestling goes. I mean, with Global Force Wrestling now seemingly taking over Impact and apparently doing some really, really solid ratings, you can definitely rebound from what's happened. I mean, getting rid of Del Rio is not necessarily a bad thing, at least suspending him indefinitely. Still, not a bad thing. Making the change to get someone else in the driver's seat. Of the guys that you have there, who do you put in place of Del Rio?
EC3.
I like that choice.
Brian?
I don't know their roster anymore. I just happened to be on the TiVo, and I just happened to check it out. I heard ACH was on there this week, so that's why I turned it on and pretty much got suckered into watching the whole thing.
Rob?
Rob.
Hefner.
Robert.
Hey, what was the question?
Stan, go ahead.
So, with Del Rio gone, Global Forces World Championship's going to be vacant here real soon. Who do you put in this?
Who do I put in it? James Storm.
Yeah, who do you give the title? James Storm. I like that choice. I'd like to see EC3 and James Storm feud for the title. I think that'd be great.
I think James Storm, and then he takes it, he wins it, and then he drops it in the trash can, just like Medusa.
Oh, so you think Storm pulls a Medusa and goes back to WWE or NXT?
Yep.
Wow.
But
that'd be kind of cool. I mean, I don't know if anybody's really going to do that ever again in today's business. I don't know. It'd be interesting. You think Triple H would have somebody do that?
No, but it'd be fun.
What do you mean?
Fun,
stop
I
it, Brian.
think,
You think so?
If he had the opportunity, he would do it. Just to say, oh, no, we did it this time.
Wow.
So I don't know how many, especially, look, it's a cutthroat business. They're trying to stay on top. And if it boosts your ratings by 1 million people, wouldn't you do it?
I mean, if it meant 1 million people, yeah, I guess I would, because that's a pretty big amount of people that would suddenly change the channel. I can't disagree with that thought process.
And you can't
It's
tell
just, to
me
me,
that if back in the day, if it had fallen in Vince's lap, he wouldn't have done the same thing.
Yeah, again, because of the time that it was at that point, if he knew that had been the death knell for WCW, I think he did it. And it probably would have been the death knell because they would have not have known how to recover at that point. They didn't have anybody else to take its place. They would have had to bury the division like WWE did, or make a joke of it and do bra and panties matches. Wow, wait a minute. Does that mean that WCW could have had the Attitude Era at that point?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think
Yes.
you put it on James Storm, you have more variety. You know, because if you put it on EC3, then you're put right back into the whole EC3 versus Lashley thing. That's been going on for
Good point.
a year, 2 years. You know, you do James Storm, and it could go to the Lashley, it could go to EC3, it could go to Eli Drake, it could go Sanjay Dutt.
Did I miss something, by the way? Friday night, did Sanjay Dutt, isn't he the X Division champion still?
Yes, but Trevor Lee supposedly has taken the belt.
Ah, okay. So I did miss that part. Okay. Because when Sanjay came out, I'm like, hey, wait, that's the X Division champion. Where's the belt?
Yeah, he didn't say it, but that's the storyline on TV.
Because he was introduced as the X Division champion.
He was?
Yeah.
Was I even at this event? Damn it. How did I miss that?
Yeah, I didn't hear that one either. But
That was in
I
like
did
the
have a hard time
monologue
hearing
of
them both
introductions.
Like
you got to
David
give it to the ring announcer. You got to give it to the ring announcer. I mean, he had all that memorized. He had no cue cards.
That's got to be hard to do. Eddie, how hard is it to remember all of those things?
Hold on. Okay, so I'm sorry. I was working on audio.
Step
How
away,
hard?
we didn't know.
No, actually, I wasn't paying attention. I'm sorry. Give me the question one more time.
So how hard is it to remember when you're announcing, for a show, and maybe you've been there a few times, but how hard is it to remember everybody's little nicknames and the different nuances there?
How long have they been there?
ask Jim Ross.
How long? No kidding. No kidding. Which one is which? Tama Tonga Tongaroa. Okay, is it Jay Briscoe or Mark Briscoe? I've only worked with him 30 times. Please don't get me started on that. Because I will go slap the refrigerator off about Jim Ross and Josh Barnett and the complete lack of professionalism that they did at the New Japan specials. Although they did do better on the following night too, and I love the fact that they actually apologized on air. So, well, actually, Jim Ross apologized. Josh Barnett tried to blame Jim Ross. Way to go, Josh.
What?
Yeah, Josh Barnett tried to play it off on Jim Ross. Tried to hang him out to dry. Dipstick. Let me go ahead and break this one out real quick. To answer your question, it depends on how long the person's been with the company, and am I using cheat cards in the ring? If I'm in the ring doing the announcing, I'm either using cheat cards or going from memory, depending on who the person is and how well I know them. If they have not been there that long, yeah, I'm using cheats until I get it ingrained in my brain. Because as an announcer, you're okay. Now, I can't speak for the people that are in the ring at WWE and Global Force and Ring of Honor, because when I'm behind the console, I'm doing 6 things at once. I'm running audio, I'm doing the announcing, I'm running the music, keeping the levels, also floating back and forth between the commentary table, trying to do that as well. But if I'm just doing an event where if I've known the people, I don't need the cards. Unless they're doing a gimmick or an image change. I don't need cards. I learn people. Over time, I learn people. But like I said, if it's somebody new, yeah, I'll use a cheat. I keep a run sheet in front of me with name, where from, weight, gimmick name, blah, blah, blah. But if I don't need it, I don't use it.
That's damned impressive because, like Rob said, the guy Friday night, he didn't have note card number 1 that I saw, and he was in tune, man. He knew everybody's deal, everybody's nicknames, their history. He had, I mean, just memorizing weights. I don't imagine you have to memorize that.
It helps.
I mean, he even knew the time of the matches, which is really cool. You don't hear that a lot of times anymore. Is this match ended in 13 minutes and 5 seconds or something like that. Just that was kind of cool. It was a different professional feel. I really liked that.
It depends on the company as to whether or not the announcer is going to do that, because if the promoter wants it done, you'll do it. If the promoter doesn't want it done, you don't do it.
Right. Well, Friday night, that was actually really neat. I thought that was really cool. All right, so looking more at the news of the week. So, guys, what is the one highlight you have Tuesday nights aside from SmackDown on the WWE Network?
I never watched
Legends House,
the other show.
Wow. And that setup fell flat. How about Talking Smack?
Oh, I know where you're going. I just didn't want to admit to watching it.
Oh, wow.
I never watched it.
And
Sorry.
And apparently it's been canceled for good reason, because that's just it. That's the news. Talking Smack was announced this week as canceled. Will only be airing, much like WWE's Raw Talk, after the brand-specific pay-per-views. So Renee Young and Daniel Bryan both found this out on Twitter. Were not advised previous to that. A little bit alarming that they would have to find out that way. It kind of sucks. But there again, this is a show that was responsible for helping The Miz get over again as a heel, rekindling his feud, so to speak, with Daniel Bryan. It's given us opportunity to hear from the Usos in a different kind of light. Also to hear from guys like Baron Corbin, AJ Styles, just more of a freestyle kind of presence. And so it is a little disappointing that it's going to be gone. I know I try to make sure that I'm checking it out every week. And so this is, for me personally, it's disappointing. I really am. Here's the sad part. It means I actually have to try to watch not Talking Smack, but 205 Live. And maybe that's the point.
Maybe that's what they're doing.
Yeah. I don't know that it's really going to help, though. I think that Talking Smack was its own individual entity, and that if you're still trying to get attention to 205 Live, you need to do something else except, don't take away from what's successful. Why not put Talking Smack on right after SmackDown and have 205 go on right before SmackDown? Or, you've got a lot of different opportunities there. I think the crowd gets burned out and fans get burned out having 3 hours of wrestling from Monday and then again 3 hours of wrestling on Tuesday. So it's hard, and you wonder if they're doing this simply for the money grab that was given to them. But now that 205 Live's not even on USA Network, so it's not like they're really making any money from advertisement.
True.
I mean, who knows if anybody was even watching it besides you, Stan, in all honesty.
Talking Smack, I was.
All right, so there's two.
I love the advancement of the storylines that they were able to do, and I thought most everybody who was able to come on the show, with the exception of Renee Young, actually showed a different side of themselves, and that made them more watchable as characters.
It helped further Heath Slater and Rhino, which was something that they needed at the time to get that storyline over. It had potential on TV, but it definitely helped crowds, especially those that maybe were a little unsure if they were going to buy in for that push. So now
it made SmackDown more approachable.
Yeah, it did. But now it means that guys like Mojo Rawley and Baron Corbin are going to have to work doubly hard, because now their only chance they have is in the 3-4 minutes that they're given on TV, and that's it. Speaking of Mojo Rawley, do you guys think that he's looking at a heel turn real soon on Zack Ryder?
Rob?
Wow. Gentlemen?
The writing's on the wall with that. You can see that Zack Ryder's going to think that it was more than just him trying to advance. Mojo's going to say, hey, I had all this success while you were gone. I don't need you. Blah, blah.
Brian?
Brian stepped away for a moment. He'll be back here in just a sec. I think that with Mojo, I think it's a mistake to turn him, though. He's got an opportunity. He's got an opportunity to really step up to the plate, but Zack Ryder, he's better suited as a team wrestler, I think, with Zack Ryder and Mojo Rawley. I just think it's a mistake to make that turn right now. Not sure what he's expecting from that whole thing. But hey, let's go ahead and take our next break of the evening. We'll come back. We'll talk a little bit more about Mojo Rawley and some more of the news of the week. And we'll be right back here on the Beyond Ringside Radio Network. Stick with us, folks. And it is on like a Tama Tonga speech. We are back live at Corner to Corner for the closing segment. Brian, you had the audio playing. Tama Tonga going all in on the New Japan G1 Climax. Dude, where has this guy been? Because I know that he had an opportunity with WWE at some point. Please tell me they didn't miss the boat on this guy.
I don't know. I don't know if he did.
Dang on.
Now, of course, this is Haku Ming's son.
Ming, yeah.
Yep. One half of the tag team Gorillas of Destiny. I'm just not sure if they ever made the WWE or if they went a different route to begin with. I can look it up though. That'd be interesting to look up.
Isn't the brother Tongaroa the one who was actually Camacho in WWE at one point? The one who was riding the freaking bicycle?
I want to say you're right about that. I'm not
sure. If memory
sure.
serves me correctly, I'm right about that, so I can understand why Tama Tonga would not go, considering the fact of what they did to his brother.
Right. It's a shame, too, because he is just magic on a microphone. He went to this press conference, and, that press conference was all right. Other than that, it's different guys just talking about how they're going to do in the tournament and how they're looking forward to their opponent and all that. And then Tama Tonga gets on the microphone and just rips into everybody there. Well, with the exception of the Bullet Club, because he did give a shout-out to the Young Bucks and for Kenny Omega to put him on the map. Talking about people aging, it was, to quote Becky Lynch, hot fire. The dude was on a rant, and it was an epic one to say the least. Brian, this guy's been going off since Jim Ross had his faux pas.
Yeah, he publicly came out and stated that he was thoroughly pissed at Ross's announcing because he couldn't get the names right, he couldn't get the moves right. So he is, I guess, got balls enough to come out and say stuff like that. Looking, I don't think he was never in WWE, but I guess his brother was.
His tirade really reminded me a lot of Brian Pillman, and how Pillman would just fire off into as many directions as possible and leave nothing but wreckage in his wake. This guy going off on how the New Japan roster is aging, which is true. They are aging. Even Okada is getting older, and this is a situation where WWE, I'm sure, knows that they better strike while the iron's hot with him, or they're going to miss out on one of the best wrestlers in the world. Not to mention the fact that with Kenny Omega, they missed the boat there. They couldn't find a right way and the right mix to get him in there. If New Japan continues the way that they're rolling, this could be even more big money, but on a stateside type feel.
Oh, don't be one of those marks today, Stan. Don't be a detractor.
Now I'm a mark.
Don't be a detractor.
A detractor?
Don't feed into the WWE machine. Even if they're getting
doing
older,
quite the opposite.
they can still out wrestle 99% of WWE's roster.
So are you saying Tama Tonga is wrong?
Well, you have to first discern, I guess, what's the difference between if it's truly legit or if somebody said, you sure go do it. Because this is a live press conference.
That is a damn good question, yeah.
And you know as well as I do, unless nobody there spoke English, if he was saying something he shouldn't have, they would have cut the mic.
Well, that's a very valid point. I mean, it could very well be a situation that he was told, go right ahead, do what you got to do. It definitely gets attention for the tournament, that's for sure.
Well, not just the tournament, though, but I would imagine when they come to America in 2018, the majority of the wrestlers that'll be over here are the Bullet Club and a lot of the American guys. And to me, that's a sure shot across the bow to the Japanese wrestlers about how great the Bullet Club is. And what better way to have this big feud go on for the next 6-7 months to stay relevant, stay in the news, leading into the invasion next year.
Definitely puts a lot more importance to it. Not like it wasn't important before, but if they're able to turn it into big money this way, yeah, you can't argue with that. That's got dollar signs written all over it. So it's definitely a good benefit to them. I want to see how it works and what comes out of it. And I definitely enjoy what he has to say because he is money on the microphone.
Yeah, I mean, even none of the wrestlers, and I'm sure if it was me and he was, I mean, this was a packed press conference. I mean, Okada,
right.
Omega, might have been Ishii sitting on the other side. If one of them had taken offense to what he was going to say, now would have been a good time to stop the shoot interview right then and there.
Well, I mean, he continues to thoroughly entertain, whether it's on Twitter or otherwise. It's interesting to me that this is what he's doing in the middle of a live press conference that all the world sees. And clearly, I got to agree with Brian on that. If they didn't want to say that, as long as they knew what he was saying, to his point, as long as they were able to speak English in that regard, then, yeah, how else do you go about it but to say that it was approved? Which, that may well be the case. Shots fired across the bow to his point, and that just makes it even more interesting. So, hey, what happens next? Who knows? We've got about 5 months left until 2018. If I remember it correctly, their expected time to be here in 2018 is February, so 6 months. That could be very, very interesting and very, very good for business overall.
And you should also note the G1 Climax for this year has started. I believe it started today. Today the 16th? 15th?
The day is indeed the 16th.
Yeah, I think it started today.
Couple hours. So who wins it this year, do you think? Last year was Omega's coming out party, so to speak, even though I think he was already pretty solid in that director's seat, in that role. Maybe
I still go with Omega.
Tonga.
No, I go with Omega. I say Omega repeats.
Well, Omega just won the U.S. Championship. He is most likely going to be the heir apparent, be the one that takes down Okada. So, I mean, yeah, there's some where smoke, there's fire on that one. I think we may end up seeing it.
RPG Vice Beretta.
That's a dark horse if I ever heard one. Beretta, huh?
Remember, they did play up the fact that Roppongi Vice was splitting up.
That's true. They definitely did. It's an interesting send-off, to say the least.
Yeah, see. Trying to see, look at the participants here, see if there's anybody else that could be a dark horse.
I wouldn't mind seeing Okada, not Okada, God dang it, Kenny Omega do it again. But it would really be interesting to me to see somebody different. It would just be kind of cool. It's any number of guys that really you could put in that spot. Okada's in it as well. Wow.
Yeah.
So what do you get at the G1? Like, you win it, what do you get? A world title shot?
Well, I would imagine that's where Omega's title shot came from. But what happens if Okada wins it? Does he just get like the trophy or the crown, or is it a separate belt? I know Omega's title shot came from it.
Yeah, last year he got the title shot.
Right.
I couldn't tell you what would happen if Okada won it. Be an interesting question.
And of course, with that, I mean, New Japan coming in 2018, that's definitely going to be a big, big moment. You know, we got big moments coming up all around. SmackDown's pay-per-view is Battleground. That's coming up in another week. To my knowledge, Jinder Mahal and Randy Orton Punjabi prison match. How bad do you think that's going to suck?
Boom.
Wasn't the first time was The Undertaker and Great Khali when that happened, and it sucked then. Batista and Khali the second time, and it sucked then. What? How does somebody combat this? I mean, it's just, are they just going too far with the whole, hey, he's of Arab descent, let's make him out to be the typical Middle Eastern bad guy? I mean, to me, that just seems like a huge mistake.
I mean, it's cool to have him as a bad guy, but then to put him in a Punjabi prison match, like, what's wrong with let's sell it in a cage, you know? Why do we have to get stereotypical and make it a Punjabi prison? When, as you all said, it sucked every time they've done it.
Because sometimes they just fling it at the wall and see if it sticks.
You know what happened? That guy they have at the WWE warehouse finally realized they still had it. He was going through he was going through some old cages. He's like, "What is this?" And they're like, "Oh, that's the Punjabi prison. Oh, let's do that."
That's a great idea. We'll use it for Mahal.
Yeah. Let's paint Hogan's blue cage bamboo colored.
You think the blue cage was thick plastic like the ones that they sold with their toy rings?
Man, that cage was awesome. I had that cage. That cage was awesome.
I was a big fan of that cage until I saw my first Bunkhouse Brawl, and after that it was all WCW and NWA cage matches from there.
Yeah. And then I saw the one that was the Fantastics versus the Midnight Express in a cage that had a drop door. And I saw that. I was like, "Oh, that's cool."
Man, I wish we could just tap into that time frame and just time warp back to that time.
You can. It's for $9.99.
Well, yeah. You know what? I mean, we could do that. We could just pretend like today's product isn't going on and just go back in time and just talk about that. Talk about the scaffold match. Talk about the Road Warriors. Will there ever be anybody to topple them?
Ascension. Oh, no, sorry.
I can't believe you just said that.
All right, so real quick to answer your question about what happens if the champ wins the G1 Climax, basically it's just bragging rights. Saying
Okay,
I
so
beat
it's like,
I beat everybody.
Right. Okay. Kind of like King of the Ring then. Not bad. Well, I mean, they have so many different tournaments. I mean, with Japan, what I can remember, they used to do a lot of different round robin tournaments, just different things to keep people active, not necessarily for titles. So, I mean, it's not a bad thing. But I would kind of like to see him turn it into something. Who knows?
Or coincidentally, Omega and Okada are in different blocks.
Oh, okay.
That could very well be your finish.
Well, there you go. Okada, Omega. This would be the third outing for them, right? Wow. How many times can you have match of the year candidates with the same guy? I mean, is that what they're trying to do right now? That'd be awesome. Well, let's see here. So, AJ Styles is U.S. champ. The rumor is Kevin Owens is not competing for the U.S. title at Battleground. That being said, we do know that John Cena and Rusev will be going one-on-one in a flag match. We haven't seen one of these in a while. Capture the flag, I guess. The winner has to go and capture the other person's flag, and that's how they win. They don't have to pin the guy. They just have to capture the flag. That actually is a recipe for disaster, in my opinion. Rusev needs a good, strong showing his first time out, and if it's not a victory against Cena, then, man, that just hurts.
I guess the toilet brush on a pole match was taken.
That would be gross. A toilet on a pole match. Like you could force it and put it in somebody's mouth and stuff. Be like, ugh.
Yeah.
That sounds like a Vince Russo idea.
I can't believe you said that name.
What? I'm sorry. It's just calling a spade a spade.
Yeah, he didn't just say it. He said that idea was very Vince Russo-like.
So in other words, he was not only saying it, but he was calling me Vince Russo.
That is correct.
Well, if you can say I hit Chet Sterling with a chair, then I can say that your idea is very Vince Russo-like.
But see, the difference is yours just mean, mine's fact.
Oh, okay. Yours isn't mean. Why would I hit somebody with that? Why would I do that to someone? What possible gain would I have?
Eddie, it's time to ban Stan from the radio. You can't call people Vince Russo. That's just mean.
Man, oh man. You can tell that we've had a very busy week, maybe even a little bit of a draining week. We're just throwing random barbs at each other. It's getting ugly. I mean, dogs and cats living together. It's mass hysteria over here, ladies and gentlemen. Going back into Battleground, try to get this closed out so we can actually say we talked about it. Naomi looks to be defending, and I can't believe this, but I read this earlier today. It looks like Lana is getting another title shot.
Oh, for Pete's sake.
How many daggone times in a month can you get a title shot?
You know, I'm going to have to say this. I think I would rather go watch a Nova Pro show than to go watch a WWE pay-per-view.
I definitely would rather go see Nova Pro than watch WWE if they're doing Lana and Naomi for the umpteenth time. It's like watching John Cena and Randy Orton again. Well, except that John Cena and Randy Orton might be actually kind of good. Might be.
Did you say John Cena and Randy Orton?
I mean, the difference between them and Lana and Naomi is that their match might actually be good. I mean, you don't think that's accurate? I know we're talking about people we don't necessarily want to watch, but...
Hey, Eddie.
Yes?
I agree with Rob. Can you cut his mic or something, maybe?
Wow. Damn. You guys have been poisoned. My friends have been replaced by...
We're not the one. Are you sure your blood sugar level is right?
It's the corner-to-corner heel turn. Don't blink.
I mean, I think you guys maybe drank a little something funky when you were celebrating with the one percenters on Friday night.
Randy Orton and John Cena. Is that what you just
I'm not
said?
saying it's match of the year candidate. I'm just saying it would be better than Naomi versus Lana again.
He is right on that one.
I mean, come on now. Anything is better than watching Naomi and Lana again.
Thank you. That's what I was trying to get at. That's all I was trying to say.
But no,
I mean, they're
then you have
not
to
going to
throw
put
out
on a
hateful
barn burner.
comments.
Jeez. What did I say that was hateful, sir?
Randy Orton.
Yes.
That's another guy that needs to go bye-bye.
Well, apparently he's off to film a movie after this next run of his matches with Mahal. So I'm guessing from that information that we may have seen the last of Randy Orton getting a title shot, which means Jinder Mahal should win the Punjabi prison match.
Well, how could you not? Because, I mean, how many people know how to get out of a Punjabi prison?
Yeah, and it's only for 1 more or 2 more weeks, and then Cena will get his shot at it. Or 4 weeks, a month. So what's after Battleground?
That's going to be SummerSlam. So, yeah, you're probably right. John Cena and Jinder Mahal at SummerSlam.
At SummerSlam, yeah.
Cena winning possibly the 17th World Championship. I couldn't see them actually from 17 if he's taking on Mahal.
Why not?
What'd you just say?
I said I can't see them keeping John Cena from number 17 against Mahal.
Oh, yeah. If it's Mahal, he should win that one.
But maybe as we've seen in SummerSlam's past, maybe we see Baron Corbin cash in against John Cena after he beats Mahal.
Or maybe Baron Corbin cashes in at Battleground.
Very good point.
And
maybe
we don't have to worry about it. Then it's Shinsuke Nakamura versus Baron Corbin for the world title at SummerSlam.
In a dark match
like
from
Rob's
this past Nakamura and Baron Corbin for the world title.
Mm-hmm.
I think that'd be a lot better and be more entertaining. Hey, what about possibly seeing this? This is kind of interesting. From a dark match from SmackDown, it was Cena and Nakamura against Kevin Owens and Rusev. Wow. That good, huh? Okay.
So it was the same match we saw on SmackDown, just without...
Just in a dark match.
Yeah. Just without AJ Styles.
Exactly.
You know?
A different partner. It's interesting. I mean, you'd think with a guy like Nakamura, they would put him on television more. I understand they're trying to go for the special attraction feel with him, and maybe that works for a little while, but how long does that finally they have to put him on TV every week and put him in a ring?
Now.
I mean, honestly, I would agree with you. I would think that this should have been done a long time ago. Man, we have covered a lot. We talked a lot about Nova Pro Wrestling and the events that were from Friday night. I don't know what to make of this whole thing with my supposed friends and their turn to the 1% in the gated community. It's unexpected.
You need to stop hating.
Nobody's hating.
Nobody's
hating, sir. I'm just hurt. I'm hurt, is what it is.
The whole time you've been talking about you like that spoiled little kid that didn't get his turn at the table. You didn't get your turn on the ride or whatever. So, just get over it. You'd be nice to the champion, Logan LaRue, and you might have a seat at the table.
I want to hear him on the show before the next Nova Pro.
You want to do what now?
I want to hear him on the show before the next Nova Pro live event. I
don't know, man. I don't know if I could swing having Logan Easton LaRue on the show. I mean, he seems like a pretty busy guy. Maybe he just doesn't have the time for us little people.
Maybe we can help you all out.
Wow. Do I have to not be on the show that week? I mean, is it that that bad? Do I have to be absent so that you guys can talk to your favorite champ?
Maybe we'll let you have, in parentheses, an open mic. i.e., Eddie's
It won't
cut you
really
off.
be open.
On that note,
Well, folks, there you have it. All right. Final thoughts, and where can they catch you on the Twitter bot? Rob.
At Rod Peffner, C2C on Twitter, Rob Peffner on Facebook. Yeah. It's been fun. I'm glad to be
It has
back.
been. Yes, we can put the milk cartons away because Rob has been found. I repeat, Rob has been found. Brian, where can they catch up with you on social media, sir?
You did it again.
I'm going to keep asking.
he
because
disappeared.
I believe in
He
my
went
heart.
to bed.
He
Look
went
in the
to
chat.
bed. He's like, I'm done. Screw you guys. I'm leaving. Well, fine. Good night, Brian, who's at Twitter on STRCP21. Sigh. And I can be found on Twitter at Stan from
Nobody cares.
Krypton. Ouch. You're an asshole, man.
And to which I will immediately jump in and say
boy.
before I get cut off, BeyondRingside.com, ProWrestlingRadio.net, and of course the Beyond Ringside Radio app is available for Amazon, Android, and BlackBerry mobile devices.
See, Eddie, we don't cut you off because you have the power.
That's
Wow.
right.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we will see you next week. Same bad time, same bad channel.
And as people tell Stan all the time, take your pill.
Fine. Have a good night, everybody. See you next week.